As said, ladies and gentlemen, Boxing Day, 2 p.m. It's now 1 minute past 2. That's punctuality for you. Good morning, good afternoon from Belgium. Bjorn. Hello Bjorn, nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us all. Look, Dieter Schöning, hello in Switzerland. Anita Kiefel, hello in Munich. Let's just kill a bit of time here. And there's 3 people. Okay, we're reaching YouTube, we're reaching Facebook, we're reaching Twitch. Peter Loudon, hello there. You notice I don't have a guitar here. That doesn't mean I'm not going to play the guitar. On the contrary, it means I am most certainly going to play the guitar, but audio and video is A1. Excellent. Thank you very much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some stuff. Maybe answer some questions if you have any questions. This is the day that I've kind of been saying for some time that yes, Christmas was excellent. Dave Mason, thank you very much. Christmas was excellent. I've either sat on or the dogs has chewed all glasses. So I've got no glasses, so that's right. Hello in Kingston upon Thames. Christian Brinker, Graham Gall. Yeah, I got myself some slippers. That's not quite right, but okay. Picture and everything's okay, right? That's fine. So, like I say, when I sit here playing every week, which I've been doing for 2.5 years or so now, 217. I think this is 218 streams. And I get a lot of questions and I don't answer them, so I'm not necessarily going to just sit here answering questions, but I thought I'd just talk about what happens and what goes on here. So a lot of the I've drank all of my tea. I've got no tea. Somebody bring us a cup of tea. Okay. So first of all, let's have a look at Ableton. Okay, now you see this software here. This is where all of the audio happens. Okay. This is where all of the audio happens. I don't want the playlist. Hello. Right, okay, this is where all of the audio happens. So if you look at me, the computer behind me, this computer here, and the brain of the computer is down here, and all of the audio interfaces here, and speaker splitters and whatnot. So what's basically happening is all audio comes from this computer, the screen that you see behind me, which is now on the screen, which I want to do with that there. Right. So you see this these blue tracks here. These are the backing tracks. Okay. These are the backing tracks here. So this is from the other night when I did the Christmas Eve thing, and I just threw a few things in there, and so these are the tracks here. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, they're all the backing tracks in there. And then these tracks along here with the red lights underneath, these are that's lead. I don't know how well you can read that where you are. I don't know how well you can read that where you are. But it says there, lead, talk, pad shop, which is a synthesizer, sequence, which is a sequencer. And these are all kind of the synth sounds that I use. This here is the mic that this one here is the mic that I talk to you with. So basically, to cut a long story short, all of my backing tracks. This microphone, Amplitube 4. That's all in here, you see. That's all in here. So click on there, open that. We got Amplitube 4. Now, if you watch here, I go on the stomp box. Watch the distortion level. You see that's adjusting there, right? Let's go to this other camera. I gotta be careful when I lift this camera because it's plumbed in. Let's go to this camera here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and he's in black and white, so we'll get rid of the black and white off that because I don't think we need it. Color adjust, reset. Okay, we're into color. Okay, so these are the backing tracks here, you see. These are the same backing tracks that we could see on the screen before. In fact, I could actually go back to the screen. And so these blue backing tracks that you can see in the sort of left-hand corner, they are the backing tracks that you can also see on this Ableton controller. So this is where I stop and start the backing tracks, you see. Yeah. Now, if I go back to the software here and I go back to track 2, that's where the guitar is. And if we go here, you'll see I can adjust the distortion. This is the distortion, the reverb, the delay. So we go back to the software, you'll be able to see that I'm controlling the distortion and all of that there, you see. So to cut a long story short, what I'm doing is basically all of the music comes from that computer behind you there, and this controller controls all of the backing tracks and all of the software and all of Amplitube and so on, you know. Good morning, everybody. My goodness, I turned my back for 5 minutes, for 5 seconds, and I look back again, and there's all those messages. So this is why I'm here, is to answer your questions and read your messages. Okay, so right, so we have this camera here. Let's just have a look and see. So if I go back to this fella here, you stand still. I've got a camera over there, right? That's the far one. Hello there, that's the far one. And then I have another camera here, which is mounted on the V drums. That's the main camera that you're looking at now. There it is there, mounted on the V drums. Okay, so that's fair enough. Okay. Okay, not need that now, so let's put him down carefully, like porcelain, china, like the valuable thing that it is. So if we go to this now, this is vMix. This is where I do all of the mixing. So if you can see here, whoops-a-daisy, 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 what are we looking for? vMix, yeah, go back to vMix, keep it on permanently. If you see here, these are the camera inputs here, you see. These are the camera inputs. And all of these along here are different inputs as well. So, you know, I can open these inputs up and you can see what they are, but it's not particularly important. So effectively what happens is that the audio comes in to this laptop, right? And the cameras come in to this laptop, and the meat in this laptop here, and it's merged. The audio and the video are merged. I don't believe that it would be worth having a laptop do the audio and the video. So to like have Cabase or Ableton running on this as well as vMix with all of the cameras, I think you would need to spend a lot of money to get a system to handle both. Okay. Nick Branson, hello there. Good afternoon from the south of France. I love the south of France. I love the south of France. Can I say it again? I love the south of France. Capture card on the laptop. Yes, it's an NVIDIA 1050 Ti capture card, which gives it a bit more oomph. They are HDMI outputs on the camera. So I go out of the HDMI output and into these. Actually, I can show you. This is what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're here for. I don't want anybody to think that this is going to be a live performance, because it isn't. You see that blue box there? That's an Asia U-tap. And that is a converter. And it converts the signal from HDMI to USB 3. Or USB-C if you wish. So it comes out of the cameras and into those HDMI converter boxes. And it's all merged on here. Now, what I can do is actually, you might get a better idea. So, okay, so I have, for instance, what I'll do is I'll arrange the show. I'll arrange the show on Ableton, so I'll have all of the tracks in order, okay, and then what I'll do is I will go to the laptop, which is this one, and I'll have the tracks in order here. I have all of these pre-made templates. Every track that I have in the big computer there, I have title templates here. So I just I line them up, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they correspond 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's say I do what blues, not blues first, and I'm going to press number 1, and that's going to start that track, and then I'm going to press number 1, and it's going to bring on the title of that track. So it's all kind of synced, you know. I have playlists, which also, so normally I have 3 cameras. I'll have this camera, I'll have this camera, and I'll have this camera, which I'm holding in my hand, which usually stands over there by the window. But I'm holding it for the purposes of what we're doing here. Okay, put him down once again, like porcelain. It's only 150 quid if I drop it to replace it. But it's 150 quid I ain't got. Yeah. USB-C, yeah, USB-C or USB 3. Okay, so that's kind of how that all works. Oh, there was one. Pick up the camera once again. Pick up the camera once again. This is something that I try to have active at all times. Let's go back to him. See, so this is what I do my little improvisations with. So these 3 red buttons. That red button there is microphone, which if I switch on, switch off. So got to always. This one here is the microphone button with reverb if I want to use the acoustic. It's exactly the same microphone, that one, that I'm talking into there. I can talk into it there. It's just a bit of compression and a bit of reverb. That's the same microphone going to a different channel. Vincent Price. So these 3 tracks here are instruments. So that's not an instrument. Get it together, Rose, lad. Okay, so that's that sequence thing. If I play 1 note, it just dances around the 1 note, okay? If I play 2 notes, it jumps around the 2 notes, 3 notes. So you want a 4-note chord, really. And what I've also got here is a pad. Okay, so if I activate both of these, and I go over here and I press the sustain key and I go like this, take my hand away, and it continues to play. So I can now play over that with the guitar, you see. Yes, I'm switching USB ports. I'm switching USB ports. That's exactly what I'm doing. I've got 3 USB ports, and I have a playlist here. See, now let's open the playlist. So you see, there's the playlist. That's camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. I'm not on the right page there. Doesn't matter, you don't really need to see that. So when I run the playlist, it just says camera 1 for 2. It's fully adjustable, right? It's fully editable and it's fully adjustable to have it exactly as you want it. So I set it to camera 1 for 2 minutes, and then camera 2 for 1.5 minutes, then camera 1 for 1.5 minutes, then camera 3 for 40 seconds. And then I have these kind of merging things, which for instance, if we go, oh no, that's vmix, where's the merging thing? Let's find a merge. There's a merge. So that's a merge of the camera, which is lying on its side there, you see. But that would obviously be over there. So it very much works kind of like Cabase, in so far as you have inputs. You have inputs. Input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4, and you just set it to go for specific times. And let's say if I press B, that brings up the Boxing Day thing, you see. So you align all of these things and you put them under the keys that you want them to be under, you see. So now, like if I was to say, let's press U, that'll bring up the UK website, and they're on timers, so all of these overlays last for 10 seconds, so that will disappear after 10 seconds. So I can say, okay, the first song, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be called Madhouse. I press the key and I don't have to think about it again. I don't have to think about it again, because I know that after 10 seconds it's going to disappear. And when I started to do this 2.5 years ago, I would have them on permanently. So I would press it and I would be sitting there playing, and you know, you would have you would have the Boxing Day thing on for 3 minutes while nobody can see me, you know. So key B is a JPEG file. Yeah, it is. It's a JPEG. That's right. That's precisely what it is. That's precisely what it is. It's something that I design on the computer, and this is, I put a request out, or I put a you know, is there any graphic designers out there? And a lad called Colin responded with some very nice designs, which I will continue using. I'll resume using them after the Christmas, because I'm not a great graphic designer. You know, I come up with something like that, which is basically a JPEG from Google Images with the information written over the top of it. But, you know, it gets the information out. How many software applications? vMix is this whole thing here is vMix. All of the visual comes through vMix, which you can get like a very basic functional copy of for the 60 Australian dollars. And if you want to upgrade to have more inputs, which is what I'm using, then it's about $350 or something like that. But you know, slowly but surely you build it up and you build it up, you know. So that's basically it. This computer behind me here takes care of all of the audio, right? And this computer here, this laptop here, does only graphics, and they kind of meet in the middle. It's a merging. Yes, the output is streaming. The output of vMix is streaming to a site called Restream, which splits it to Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, it's kind of straightforward. It's kind of straightforward. But you got to learn it first. Once, like anything, once you understand it, once you know what it is, you know what it is, and it's okay. It's not such a big deal. But when you don't know it, and you don't know anybody who knows it who can tell you, then you kind of make a lot of mistakes. And those of you who've been following me for the 2.5 years that I've been doing this will remember the first kind of 6 months I will be sitting here talking like this, and the messages will be coming and going, Paul, the mic. So kind of on the whole, you know. So there we go. That's the setup. This computer is all audio. I control it from this Ableton APC40. I can start and stop the tracks. I can mix the guitar volume. I can mix the track volume, and I can adjust. The. Let's just go back to that for once, just for the hell of it. Ableton. Okay, so let me go to this. If I go to that rack there, you'll see the reverbs moving. You see that? Back to Ableton. Can you see the mix is moving there? Or the mix on the reverb is moving? Or the decay time is moving? You know, so audio and video merged in one machine. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Nick. I really appreciate it. Hello, Fred. I'm just talking about the setup, basically. So, yeah, interesting, Pete C. To earn revenue is not easy. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 54. I'm going to be 55 in July, and so I used to buy records, and I used to buy tickets, and I used to buy CDs. The younger generation, I don't know, just be Christmas scarf and Christmas slippers. Yeah, there's my Christmas slippers, look, to replace the ones that Dylan the dog destroyed. I'm going to be starting, like probably tomorrow, I'm going to be starting to do a series called 10 useful guitar tips. And I'm going to try and keep them to like 3 or 4 minutes each. So I would say that all 10 guitar lessons put together will not last more than an hour. But there'll be 3 or 4 minutes, and I'll release them every week, or maybe 2 a week. And I'm going to do it in chord progressions. That's not right. I'm going to do it as chords. Okay. Holiday regards from California. I hope you're all doing well in California. I've been to California many times, and I always had a great time. Yes, okay, so let's see what we've got. That's a reverse guitar signal from Christmas Eve. It's been going round and round and round until now. So, without wanting to give too much away, I don't want to give you these lessons now, because like, otherwise there's going to be no point in doing them. I think there's something to be said for a long 1 hour, 2 hour, or an hour and a half show. But I think 3-minute digestible chunks is also useful as well. So for instance, lesson one in this series of short guitar lessons will focus on the A chord and the D chord, and that's all. Okay, so if you're playing blues, What do you play on the A chord? What do you play on the D chord? There's a difference, and I think one of the things about learning theory on the guitar is actually knowing what to do with it. So you can easily say, we're going to play an A chord. Let's try this. In fact, this is the whole point of being here, isn't it? And I don't want to reverse that. No, I don't. I want to play it straightforward. So we'll play A, D, A, I can play with the A. There are minute differences in the A and the D chord that you reflect in the lead lines. That's the secret. That's the secret. Yeah, that's the secret. Okay, so for instance, if we play, let's play an A major chord. Do you want it to be in tune? Do I want it to be in tune? Which is what happens when you don't play guitar, it hangs on the wall for a month. I'm using a Roland RC20 XL. It's quite an old one, but it bought me a car. This pedal bought me a car. I went out with an acoustic guitar and this pedal and did 3 gigs a week for 18 months, and I bought me car. So if we play an A chord and we add the 6th note of the A major scale, F sharp, that chord is the chord that ends She Loves You by the Beatles, by the way. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is just a hypothetical scenario, but it's an important one. That 6th note of F sharp is also the 3rd note of D major. Play a D major scale and stop at 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So stop at 3. It's F sharp. Play an A major scale and stop at F sharp. There's that F sharp again. So the F sharp is F sharp in the A chord, and it's F sharp in the it's F sharp in the D chord, but it's a 6th in A and it's a 3rd in D, and in that sense it's changed. Still an F sharp. It's still an F sharp. So you approach it as an F sharp. It's just the same note. It's just the same note. Well, it's not. It's a very different note. So it's changed its shirt, which is something I occasionally do. It's changed, it's the same note, but it behaves differently because it's surrounded by different people, if you like. The notes of the A surrounding the F sharp make the F sharp behave in a specific way. But when you take all of those A notes away and replace them with D notes, that F sharp behaves in a different way because it's surrounded by different personalities. Okay, so you must, well, I can just play F sharp on A, or I can just play F sharp on D. Yeah, and you're going to get bored and you're going to run out of road and there's no creative space in there. But if you look at it as a different note, with a different relationship, it can make all of the difference in the world. It can make all of the difference in the world. And so it goes on, it's infinitesimal. It's infinitesimal, you know. I am tuned to 432 Hertz. I apologize. Let me make you a promise, ladies and gentlemen, that when I do my 10 useful guitar tips, I will be tuned to 440. Okay. I will be tuned to 440, but in this situation I'm tuned to 432, which is about a third of a semitone flat, and it's another thing that for me makes all the difference. I have heard people say that it's nonsense, but I completely disagree with people who say that 432 is nonsense, and I'm not going to waste my time arguing. I'll tune to 432. I love it. I think it sounds much better. I really think it sounds much better. So when I do my 10 lessons, there will be 440. Okay, so I apologize, I'm tuned to 432 at the moment. Okay, so like a great example of this is that, for instance, if I play this C major 7 chord, just try. I'm going to play a C major 7, which has got a 9th in it, which is the 9th note of the scale, going over 2 octaves, right? I'm going to play that chord, and then I'm going to play this C sus 4 minor 7 with a 9. C sharp, I should say. These 2 chords are immaterial. You don't need to worry about these 2 chords. The point I'm getting to is what's important. The point I want to make is that I'm going to put an open E in both of those chords. Now I'm going to knock the vocal mic off, okay? And I want you to listen to how the E appears to change, but it doesn't change. It's an extreme example of what I was talking about before with the F sharp and the blues, in that the E doesn't change. Everything around the E changes, and it has an effect of making the E sound like it's changed. So let me knock the vocal mic off so you can hear this a bit better. And these are the subtleties that I think make all the difference. And well, I hope it's I hope it's interesting. I hope it's interesting. I'm going off into the deep end here with this thing, but I'm just trying to make the point. hopefully you can hear the point that I'm making is that E, although it doesn't change, but its environment changes, which has the effect of it changing. So I've likened this to kind of anybody who's had lessons with me, one-to-one lessons, which if you want to have one-to-one lessons with me on the internet, be sure to send me an email. Okay. In that if you have a white wall and you shine a red light on it, or if you shine a green light on it, or if you shine a blue light on it, it still looks like a blue. It looks like a blue wall. It looks like a red wall. But the fact is that it's still a white wall. That E is still an E. It just appears to have changed. Yeah, you know. So anyway, that's kind of. I think that's kind of what music's all about. It's these little details. It's these little pieces of. Learning everything is not important. You know, this, it's important. Whoa. It's important to learn that so that you know where the notes of A major are on the guitar neck. But it's unlikely you're going to take a solo and play an A major scale in your solo. You're going to go. And you know where they are. You see? Yeah, changing the bass. Now here's a fantastic example of this. There's a mode called Mixolydian, and Frank Zappa uses the Mixolydian loads, right? And he shut up and play a guitar. The chords to shut up and play a guitar, the 3 shut up and play a guitar solos on the shut up and play a guitar box sets are C major. Right. So I'll set this up so you can hear what I mean. Okay. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. That's all he plays over. Okay. Now the thing is if you know what relative major and relative minor is, you'll know that C major and A for Apple, A minor are identical, apart from the bass note. So what you find with shut up and play a guitar is, and I've used this loads, I use it all the time, and I don't mind saying that, you know, is just that the bass player will occasionally play an A, which will make the C major an A minor. C major hasn't changed, it's just, as our friend Chris Riding has pointed out, it's the A makes the C major into an A minor. So it's like, so there's the C, and with the A in the bass, it changes it. So what happens when you're soloing over that? You don't have to do anything. You, as a soloist, don't need to change a single note, because what's going on underneath you is actually doing that for you. It's changing the colour of the light which is being shone on the white wall, which the white wall is your soloing. If you follow this analogy, this philosophy that I'm trying to develop, well, I've already developed it, I'm now trying to share it. So all I have to do is play the same notes that I was always playing, but maybe emphasize one or two of them slightly differently. So for instance, C to D A minor to D. It's different. It sounds different because the bass notes changed. The bass notes changed, but I'm playing the same thing. You see? And so that's it would be very unprofessional of me to say what I really think about what's happened to the state of the guitar today, but without wanting to make too fine a point of it, okay. Yeah, well, you need to be in time. Yeah, you need to know what's going on, or you need to have musicians who understand what's happening. The black dots on the fretboard are to show you where you are. That's all it is. And the two black dots is the octave. Where you get the two black dots tells you it repeats after that, an octave higher. Okay, so I think that the players like Clapton, Peter Green, Edward Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth, Hendrix, of course, and Frank Zappa, Blackmore, Jimmy Page, all of these guys, certainly Jeff Beck, John McLaughlin, they were kind of discovering this as they went along. And I think if you think about Leo Fender launching the Fender Stratocaster in, I think it was 1954, the first commercial Fender Strat became available. In 1967, 13 years later, Jimi Hendrix set fire to the Fender Strat at the Montreux Festival, right? Hendrix revolutionized the electric guitar 13 years after its commercial release in 1954. It's no time at all. And Eddie Van Halen came along 1976, 1977, 78. Now, Eddie was playing before the first album came out. Eddie was revolutionizing the electric guitar in 74, 75, 76. He just didn't have a record deal and he wasn't visible. That's 20 years after the invention of the Fender Strat. It's no time at all. But that time is now, 50 years, 60 years ago? 54, 64, 74, 84, 94, 2004, 2014. We're going into 2021. So it's like, we're heading for 60 years since the invention of the Fender Strat. 50 years since Jimi Hendrix exploded on the scene in London. It was a very short space of time. And if you think of the Sex Pistols, the Sex Pistols were 75, 76. Elvis Presley was 55, 56. It's 20 years. It's nothing. It's nothing. From Elvis Presley to the Sex Pistols. It's 20 years. It's nothing. 20 years ago, Van Halen's first album's 40 years old now. Time's gone. It's kind of, So basically what the point that I'm getting to now is the guitar that you see a lot of today, and this is where I risk being shot down. There's a lot of people flying around the guitar like there's no tomorrow, and it's almost like doing a Rubik's Cube. I learned how to do it. Look, I can do that. It doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, everyone's counting 1, 2, 3, 4 together, correct? So anyway, this is the to stop and go, hold on a second, I know the major scale and I know the minor scale. What are you going to do with it? And this is kind of the series of 10 lessons. Creativity, Chris Joyce. It's creativity and expression. You know, that note. Oopsie daisy. I'm just making that up. But just to let the note go. Let it go. Dogs are barking. Of course, it's expression. It's expression. Let me give you an example. It's out of tune. Maybe I'll tune up a second. But you know, I think that the vocal cords, the way that we express ourselves through speaking is by, obviously, it's, you know, it's the movement of the mouth and the tongue within the mouth. But to really express, you go up and you go down. You know, and so for when I was a kid, my mother would say my name 4 different ways, and I would knew what kind of mood she was in. I didn't have to see her. I could hear her from the other side of the, you know, when I was a young'un. And so what you're doing is you're tightening and loosening your vocal cords in order to express a point. So you go up like that, and you tighten the vocals, and then you go down like that, you know. And so that's exactly what we're doing with the guitar. We're shortening, we're loosening and tightening the strings in order to express, you know. Intonation, absolutely. You see, so there's a part in Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in the third movement, and I'm no scholar, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing piece of music, and there's a part in the third movement where a French horn plays a single note for about 48 bars or something. An enormous length of time this French horn plays the same note, and everything around it changes. You know, the cellos are changing, the violas are changing, the clarinets are changing, and this French horn's going all the way through. And you don't realize it's one note because it's changing its identity by the notes that are surrounding it, you know. So if we, and this is the point of expressive soloing, is that if we know that and we understand that, then we emphasize that change, you know. So the masters knew it, you know. You look at, there's F major, and here's F minor. You might say, well, yeah, okay, Paul, what's the value of F major and F minor? Well, again, it's everywhere. Sleepwalk, for instance. If we play a C major and an A minor and an F major and a G major, it's all part of the same family, right? But Santo and Johnny changed the F to a minor, and there's a point to this. Okay. Yeah. Am I teaching music or life? Well, it's that's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. So when we're playing this C major, Let me read it. Let me do this again. I'm going to play that cycle of chords, and I'm going to make the first time round it's going to be an F major in there, and the second time round it's going to be an F minor in there, and listen to the difference you can make, and then I'll make the point. Major, all happy. Minor, darker, okay. So you know that first F's going to be a major, and you know that the second F's going to be a minor. So you jump all over that F minor like there's no tomorrow. See? Emphasize it. Or it could be just as simple as taking one note and ring it out. Ring the difference out. Ring out the difference. Ring out the difference. That's the point, right? So learning to play this stuff fast, it's like not savouring the finest steak or the finest piece of fish or the finest wine or the finest you know, you go past it and it's gone, you know. Like, you can do it. I mean, you know, those guys are amazing. You know, Malmsteen, for instance. I mean, Malmsteen's phenomenal. His ability is amazing, and his knowledge of music is amazing, and he does understand and appreciate this. I think he's one of the few of the shredders who, you know, I got to watch. I don't want to say anything derogatory about other players because they're all great and they've all done a lot of work, you know. Okay. Sometimes the spaces between the notes as well. I mean, let's do a blues. Let's do a blues. And I'll incorporate something in these chords. I got these chords from, they're just blues chords. There's nothing clever about them, but I picked them up from the beginning of the idea of this. I picked up from Danny Gatton. And I've since realised that people like B.B. King and the big orchestra and all of that, and Peter Green had been doing this as well. So we have this A major. So I'll talk you through it. I'll try and keep time as I'm talking through it. So that's a standard blues change, okay? Very straightforward. Back to the straight D. Now let's make this D a minor. Now major 7 on the A. Now an F sharp. Or B minor. Then an E7. Then an A. Now, I've basically altered two very important chords there, and that I've made one a major 7 and I've made one a minor 7. Yeah, learn everything you can. Cycle of fifths, absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's listen to that minor. Okay, so I'm just going to play straight blues. You'll have heard me do this every week on the stream because I'm addicted to it. There's the minor. Major 7, B minor, E, so it's not, the point that I'm trying to get to here is not to say, oh, I know all of the modes and I know all of the intervals and I know all of the names and I can go to the guitar shop on Saturday afternoon, I can fly all around the guitar neck and let everybody know it. That's not the point. The point is to ring that note out. And I'll try and give you an example of what I'm getting at. what you want to be doing is just picking out those differences at the choice moments, and the jazz players refer to it as nailing the changes. It's the moment that the chord changes which is important. And so, to cut another short story long, if you're going to change chords, try and change chords in a way that, not always, but put chords in that are going to make you force you to change scales, because at the end of the day, a chord is an abbreviation of a scale. It's an abbreviation of a scale. Okay. Pete C, thank you very much. You love the blues. Thank you very much. Yeah. Changes of mood and feel is what it's all about. And so, you know, I also have this kind of this thing about knowing the notes and yeah, the thing about knowing the notes is so that you can express yourself with them. A dictionary, you go and get a dictionary off the shelf and read it. It's not going to tell you a story. There's no story in the dictionary. There is the data in order for you to construct your story. Right. The alphabet does not tell a story. It is the data for you to construct the words to tell your story. And this is why we need to understand music theory, I believe. That's the idea. Okay. So I can play these blues licks, right? Okay. So let's make these blues licks sound kind of like B.B. King. We all love the blues. Mr. Albatross, thank you very much, sir. And Pete C, thank you very much for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, so I can play those exact same licks they're not the exact same licks, they're the exact same notes, and I can play it and make it sound country. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's listen to the blues in here. Now blues. Country. Okay. Again, another analogy of mine, which I've developed through doing these workshops, is that we all speak the same language, but we speak different accents. Now, if there's anybody in Glasgow, or if there's anybody in the East End of London, or there's anybody in Liverpool, or there's anybody in Newcastle, we'll all be able to testify to this, that we all speak the same language. There's a lot of differences in the words, but fundamentally, I think we speak 80% the same language, but we say exactly the same things in a completely different way. And the blues scales are fantastic for applying a different accent. So I've just played some blues licks there. Now, so I'm going to kind of do them in a jazzy flavour, okay? When I wake up. I'm still playing blues licks, It's very bluesy, but I'm giving it a kind of I'm giving a jazz accent, if you want. I'm kind of speaking those blues licks with a jazz-ish lilt. There's more to it than that, obviously, but you see, once you've learnt the notes, you can play them in so many different ways, you know. It's all melody based, yeah. It's all melody based, you know. And I used to, I tried for a long time to be that guy who could play faster and cleverer than everybody else, and for a start, you're never going to be that guy, and secondly, I have no desire to be that guy, not anymore, not as someone who's approaching 55. Like I say, the Rubik's Cube guitar playing world is kind of not appealing to me. It's not anymore anyway, you know. So, like, for instance, let's think about the arrival of the Telecaster, and what was going on was you have country music, and long before good 10 years at least before the Telecaster, there was a guy called Speedy West who played a pedal steel. For those of you who know what a pedal steel is, I apologise for telling you something that you may already know, but basically a pedal steel lies flat like that, and you've got pedals and levers that you operate with your knee, which changes the tension of the string. Because if I, oops, did you put that light back on? If I play a bar, play a pedal, you know, and I'm playing, I can't change chords with a piece of metal. I can't change the shape of that chord the way that I can change the shape of my fingers to play chords. So what happened was you have pedals, and they tune the guitar. You tune the guitar with your feet as you're going. You change the tuning, and that's how the pedal steel sound came along. Now, so that was very much the sound of country. Like I say, there's a guy called Speedy West played pedal steel, and he was like the Steve Vai, Eddie Van Halen of pedal steel playing. And in my opinion, he's every bit as good as Steve Vai and Eddie Van Halen. I think he's probably even better when you take into account that he's changing these 27 levers and switches every time, you know, I mean, he's changing the tuning of the guitar several times per bar, you know. He's not just flying around 6 stationary strings. The strings are actually changing tuning as he's playing. Speedy West, check him out. There's recordings of him in 1936, 1937, and through the 40s and the 50s. Yeah, yeah. So when the Telecaster comes along, you have this, the world of country. So you're creating that sound where, you know, you would play a chord, this guitar's hasn't been loved for a while. So you would play a chord and you would move at the pedal to change the tuning of the chord so that you can, so that the slide, you know. So when the telly players came along, They emulated that pedal steel with their fingers. Changed the tuning of the chord with one finger. So that's kind of, you know, what it's all about. That's what it's all about, says he, in a pompous, reassured fashion. But, you know, I learned to play fast a long time ago. I started learning to play fast, and I learned about the tapping and all of this, that, and the other. And now I think it serves me well. It serves me better now than it did back then, because because I got seduced by, for a little while, maybe 5 years, I got seduced by the 1980s shredders. Vi particularly blew me mind. And one or two others, you know, and I kind of went into that world, and I spent a lot of time working on the technique when I lived in London, down in a village called Hampton, which is just by the River Thames, over the bridge from Kingston. And I had no friends. I just used to sit in the house practicing the guitar, and all I had to practice was technique. And so I'm getting to the point here. I'm probably going to wind this up shortly. Yeah, God, I've been talking for over an hour. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And when I did get up to jam with people, me playing was not really, not very good. Looking back to what I'm trying to play today, a friend of mine went to the library and he got out Deep Purple made in Japan, and I hadn't listened to that record for years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it was. And it reminded of me of why I wanted to play the guitar. It reminded me very clearly, this is why I wanted to play the guitar. And it was about... you know, not... And I kind of, so I went back to playing blues, but I brought a lot of the technique from the 80s shredders that I worked on. And actually, the older I get, the more and more of that I jettison. And there's one last piece of advice that I would give to any young guitar player who's watching, and this is unfortunate for the young guitar players who are watching, is that the only way you're going to really get your playing together, in my opinion, and everyone's entitled to an opinion, I believe the only way you're going to get your playing together is in a live band, by playing 3 or 4 times a week all over the country and Europe, if you can. And unfortunately, that situation before COVID, long before COVID, live music was in a bad situation. It's gone now, like, certainly for the time being. When it'll come back is anybody's guess. Will it ever come back? That's the big question, you know. But I found that you will learn more playing in a band on the road in 1 year than you will in your bedroom in 5 years, or maybe even 10 years. Because, speaking from my experiences, I'm not saying that this is you, this is definitely me. I used to play things in the bedroom over and over and over again until I got them right. And then I would go out and do a gig, and if I didn't get them right first time, your chance is gone. You can't stand on the stage going over and over and over something trying to get it right. You can on YouTube. That picture's a little bit staggered. I don't quite know why that is. Anyway, the beauty of YouTube is that you can play over things 100 times, and 99 times you can get rid of it and keep that one. But when you're in the Pembury Tavern in East London playing for Hell's Angels, you got to get it right on the spot, or you're going to be in trouble. Which is where I was, you know. That's just where I was. And playing in pubs, people want to be entertained. They don't want to see you up there fucking on, trying to get things right, and having countless pedals having countless pedals malfunction and stopping and changing batteries and pulling cables out and this, that and the other. Be as dependent on yourself and your guitar and your amp and as little else as possible. That's my advice. It's in your hands. I learned to play the guitar like this without even a clean amp. I used to sit. I learned to play the guitar unplugged. Before MTV even came out with unplugged. See? So if you can get the sound out of the guitar with just the power of your hands, all the amplifier is going to do is get that to the audience. And if you've learned how to do that with a load of pedals and you're standing in front of an audience and your pedal malfunctions, then you're going to be kind of up shit creek without a paddle. Okay, that's all folks. I hope that was useful. I hope it was interesting. I should be doing a live stream tomorrow night, Sunday night, but I don't know if I will be. There you go. Thanks, folks. Hope that was useful. Hope that was interesting. Hope you enjoyed it. Any last questions? Did I answer any questions? I guess I tried to. I don't know if I've got anything else to say. Keep you here, bore you to tears. Very, very conscious of... hello, Thomas Klein, in Little Britain, over in Germany there. Britain. Yeah, it's all about the soul and, you know, heartbreak. That's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's everything I've got. Like I say, we've still got everything here. Look, email me, paul@paulrose.co.uk, if you want to ask any direct questions. You're welcome to do so. Like and subscribe if you wish, if you haven't already. Okay, so basically the bottom line is that theory is a language. Theory is the foundation, the data with which to it's a language to develop how you express yourself. And you know, you can express yourself so many different ways, you know. Okay. Greetings from Brazil, thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to say bye-bye. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday live stream tomorrow night. Unlikely it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Unlikely it's going to happen. I'm going to do these guitar lessons during the week. I'll do them all, you see. What I'll do is I'll sit here and I can record this, you see, live. I can record this live. And it won't appear on the internet, and then I put it into the editing software and I cut it up into bits. So I'll sit here and basically talk about Fred Dodds. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Fred Dodds. Vastly appreciated. So I can basically do a thing like this and talk about everything and then put it into the editing software and cut it into 3-4 minute chunks, stick a title on it, blues in A. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 2 chord, the 6 chord, the whole tone, the diminished, the minor 6, the major 6, and the Paul Rose 10 Useful Blues Guitar Tips series, which I'm giving away for free, because why not? And, you know, okay, that's it. Thank you very much. See you next time. Probably next Thursday morning. I'll do the 11 o'clock stream, which would be the repeat of the Sunday night stream tomorrow, which isn't going to happen. Okay, press the button, say bye-bye. Time to go and watch the television and drink tea and eat cakes. Bye.